Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
What's going on, y'all? We've been having some audio difficulties, so let me know if you can hear me. But welcome to the Weekend Debrief right here on the SHR Media Network, where faith in God sets the standard and masculinity is not toxic. Today is Saturday, June 27th in the year of our Lord 2026. And we got a pretty packed show for you today. I don't think I'm going to get to everything that I wanted to discuss, but we are going to give it a shot. I said today is June 27th, so I want to give one of my best friends in the world, a guy that I've known for most of my life. Today is his birthday, so I want to wish him a very happy birthday. He's going through some difficulties right now, so I just want to ask you all to have him in your prayers. All right. As always, do all the algorithm things, like, subscribe, share, comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say, and try to interact with you. I don't always. Sometimes I can, sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, but we will try. And this show is also on on our individual channel, the Mission Ready Men Briefing. So be sure to check that out on Rumble as well if you're not into YouTube, but it's on all the platforms. So we would really love it if you could support us there as well. Like I said, we have a lot to get into, so let's just go ahead and get after it. There's a lot of stuff going on these days with regard to immigration, mass immigration, and all the issues attendant to that. And so that's where we're going to start off today. And Nicole Wallace, alleged Republican. I think she still says that she's a Republican, but everything that she does on BS Now, if she didn't tell you she was a Republican, you would swear she was a raging leftist. And so she said something at the beginning of her show a few days ago, and I want to take a look at that and then react to it. So let's get into that.
Trump Supreme Court making a mockery of the words emblazoned on the Statue of Liberty. Quote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free," is where we start today.
They always go to that Emma Lazarus poem as if that's law, as if that's immigration scripture, if you will. It's it's so juvenile and ridiculous, but yet so many people fall for it. And the poem is a beautiful poem. but it's an incomplete picture. At the dedication of the Statue of Liberty in 1883, I believe it was. I may be off a year or two, but in the dedication or inauguration of the statue, Chauncey Depew gave a great speech. And if you haven't read it, I encourage you to go read it. He laid out, he completed the picture that the poem that the poem tried to lay out. And I'm just going to read a bit from that poem, from that speech. And let's see. So here he had just talked about Benjamin Franklin and how he harnessed electricity from the clouds and things of that nature. And he says, the rays from this beacon, lighting the gateway to the continent, will welcome the poor and the persecuted with the hope and promise of homes and citizenship. It will teach them that there are room and brotherhood for all who support our institutions and aid in our development, but that those who come to disturb our peace and dethrone our laws are aliens and enemies forever. That, to me, completes the picture of the poem, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free." You can't have one without the other. You can't just welcome everybody in and not expect there to be some, or not just think that everybody's just going to assimilate, especially in this day and age. Back then, pretty much everybody who came here wanted to come here because of the promise that this country gave. But now, for some reason, this idea that the country is an illegitimate country and doesn't deserve to exist. Now, all of a sudden, we have these people coming here who wave their own flags and want to destroy it. And people like Nicole Wallace just shrug and say, yeah, no big deal. Because we're supposed to welcome these people. And yes, we can welcome them, but there has to be an expectation that they will abide by what this country stands for. And as soon as they decide they're going to try and subvert that, well, then you got to go. And that somehow is seen as extreme or making a mockery. And how can you make a mockery of a poem that is on a statue that has no standing in the law or the Constitution whatsoever? It makes, like I said at the beginning, it's juvenile and it makes absolutely no sense. Because we're seeing what Depew warned against in his speech. We're seeing demands for Sharia accommodations and halal restaurants and whatnot. We're seeing schools integrate Sharia curriculum into the schools and things like that. They weaponize that poem as if it's somehow, as if it has the force of law, as if it has any grounding in the Constitution. It's a poem. It's a sentiment. But it means nothing. As Christians, I mean, we're called to defend the vulnerable and whatnot, but we're not supposed to just hand the keys to the city over to the wicked rulers. We're supposed to stand up against that as well. The stranger that everybody says we're supposed to welcome, they get the hospitality when they join the covenant. But if they reject that, they don't deserve the hospitality. And so I Nicole Wallace and everyone else, all the other left-wing lunatics like her, their reasoning and their tactics on this are just juvenile. They're the shallowest thinking. No critical thinking about it whatsoever. And maybe they do, but maybe they just hate the country so much, like all the socialists we saw get win their elections this week. Maybe they just hate the country the same way they do, and they just haven't fully embraced the communist agenda yet, or at least are not willing to admit to it. Well, that's a possibility as well. I want to, I'm going to leave that there because I want to move on to another ridiculous leftist who said something equally absurd on the air. And I'm speaking of none other than the whoopster herself, Whoopi Goldberg. And somebody posed a question online, is she lying or is she stupid? And of course the answer is yes. She's lying and she's stupid, which is a dangerous combination. This post says Whoopi is either really stupid or straight up lying, maybe a bit of both. It's definitely both. It's definitely both. But let's take a listen to what she said, and then we're just gonna really, really quickly just debunk it all, because she. And the thing is, it's not just that she's stupid, but her producers and the people who run the show let her get away with this. Somebody had to be in her ear saying, no, pump the brakes on that. And if they're not, then it's on them. But let's go ahead and take a look at it.
But he torpedoed the bill because he wants another bill signed.
Yeah.
Right. And it seems to.
She's talking about the SAVE Act. He stopped. He didn't sign the housing bill, the bipartisan housing bill, because he wants the Save America Act signed. And I think that is a use of presidential power that he needs to do more of, frankly. But anyway, let's continue.
I mean, no one wants to sign this bill.
Doesn't have the votes.
It doesn't have the votes. And so he's trying to push it and do all kinds of stuff. It's ridiculous. It's the bill that would force people to have ID when they come to vote. And nobody wants it.
It's basically called the Save America Act, which is ironic because it's really saving his behind.
Yeah.
Save the Donald Trump behind Act.
Yeah. There are probably portions of the Save America Act that could pass, but the bill itself does not have the votes.
And if the bill itself doesn't have the votes, that's just because the people voting on the bill aren't listening to their constituents. You need an ID. And I mean, it's like beating a dead horse. We've been over this before. You need an ID to buy alcohol. You need an ID to get on a plane. You need an ID to cash a check, open a bank account. You need an ID for every aspect of life in this country. You cannot function in this country without an ID. It's just that plain and simple. And it's not like they're ridiculously expensive. In some cases, if you can demonstrate that you can't afford it, they give you an ID for free. So it really boggles the mind why so many people are fighting tooth and nail, fighting so hard against it. And we know why the left fights against it, because it just makes it that much easier for them to cheat. I mean, that's a given. But why some alleged Republicans and conservatives are fighting against it too is mystifying. And all you have to do, all I did was go to a search engine, and it's on my other, I don't have it available right now, but I'm going to give you some stats and you can feel free to look it up yourself. I encourage you to do that. But the American people, at a rate of 83% of Americans, support requiring a government-issued ID to vote. This is according to Pew Research in 2025, less than a year ago. 95% Republicans, 71% of Democrats support the idea of having an ID to vote. And that is across all racial and ethnic backgrounds. Seems pretty cut and dry. And it's been that way for decades, according to Gallup, going back to 2006. Depending on the year, between 77 and 84% of the people polled, and that's across Pew, Rasmussen, Gallup, like I said, going all the way back to 2006, 77, 84% of the people think that we need an ID in order to vote. This is not difficult. This is not difficult. So if it doesn't have the votes in the Senate to pass, that tells you pretty much all you need to know. And it's not good. It tells you that the people who are in power couldn't care less what you as the voter thinks. They think that they know, and I've said this before, I've been saying this for a long time. These people think that they know better than you how to run your life. I've said this with taxes. I've said this with every aspect in which the government steps in. They believe that they know how to run your life better than you do. They believe that not having an ID to vote is the best way to preserve democracy or something. How exactly? How does that work? When even third world countries that have some kind of democratic process require an ID to vote. So where is the logic in saying that you don't need an ID to vote? It makes no sense. Unless you come to the conclusion, unless you realize that they want to manipulate the elections. They want to cheat. And we just saw it in California. Spencer Pratt should have run away with that nomination. And he was doing well right up until they started counting all the votes that didn't need an ID. But election integrity doesn't mean anything to these people. And just think back to the election in 2024, when President Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College. The only states he didn't win were the states that didn't require a voter ID. Again, pretty much tells you all you need to know. And there's also the idea in the SAVE Act of proof of citizenship, which is an absolute no-brainer. But of course, the left wants illegal aliens to vote. You say, well, it's illegal for them to vote. Yeah, it's illegal, but details. Because in California, if you go to the DMV, they register you to vote. You're registered to vote, you get a state-issued ID. Problem solved for them. And they tell you fraudulent votes don't happen enough to swing elections. And I've said this before, votes have been decided by picking a name out of a bowl because the votes were so close. Tied, obviously. Elections have been decided by single-digit votes. And so it only takes a few. And if you take that number that is so statistically insignificant, it can swing any number of elections. But again, details. If somewhere around 80% of the people, and it's difficult to get 80% of any group of people to agree on anything. But when you get 80%, an average of 80% of left and right to agree on something, maybe you might want to consider voting for it. Just a suggestion. But it's so basic that the people ignoring it must have some other agenda. They have to, because there's no other explanation for it, is there? Is there? They're protecting something. They're protecting their power, obviously, because by paving the way for illegal aliens to vote and paving the way for fraudulent votes to be counted, they're securing their hold on power. But let me know, what do you think? Am I wrong? Is my logic flawed? Is my reasoning not sound? I would love to hear a counter argument to it. All right, you know what? We're just going to power through, speed run through this, because like I said, I got a lot to get to. And something else I wanted to talk about. And I've had this on the agenda for a few shows now, but just never got to it. So we're going to get to it now. And James Tallarico, Democrat Senate candidate in Texas. He is, I'm really not sure how he made it as far as he did. But he is the Democrat nominee for Senate in Texas. And he's getting hammered. He's getting hammered. And when he first burst on the scene and when he first won the nomination, I was thinking to myself, this may not be the walk in the park that Ken Paxton and Republicans think it might be. And it's still not, I still don't think it's a foregone conclusion. However, he is making a case for everyone to vote for Ken Paxton because, and Ken Paxton is doing a good job of hammering Tallarico's shortcomings. Let's I want to take a look at one of the latest ads against Tallarico from Ken Paxton. So let's take a look at this.
James Tallarico is a hypocrite when it comes to fighting for families. Tallarico wants to teach trans ideology in schools and let boys compete in girls' sports. Tallarico says it's immoral to use the oil and gas that employs millions of Texans. Tallarico wants higher taxes and policies that'll raise prices on families. Hypocrite James Tallarico will do anything to push his radical agenda, even if it leaves families broke and jobless.
I'm Ken Paxton, and I approve this message.
I mean, a 30-second ad really hammered the point home. He and Ken Paxton, I'm not Ken Paxton, and James Tallarico is every bit the hypocrite that was laid out in that ad. And the biggest one of the biggest issues with him is his opposition to protecting girls' sports and calling for boys to play with girls in sporting events. And of course, we have his whole God is non-binary and his love. The first thing he thought of when asked about what he loves is trans kids. I mean, the guy's just a creep. He's creepy. And I played the clip of him before where he talked about being in favor of fossil fuels, even though he was against it before. And he's authored bills that would put oil companies out of business. And of course, just like the ad said, it will put a strain on working families. And he's a typical Democrat. He is right in line with all of the Democrat socialists that won their elections in New York and other places across the country. He voted against income tax bans. He's voted to target millionaires and billionaires with wealth taxes, and just he is your typical leftist with just an extra tinge of the trans ideology that the rest of them seem to try to downplay a little bit. Even like I said, he's right in line with them. They downplay that because they're seeing the writing on the wall, but he's running with it. He's running with it. And it's gonna play tough in Texas. It's gonna play tough in Texas. Now, the caveat to that is, and this is something that I've said with regard to the elections in New York. Those socialists, those Islamo-communists that won in New York, 11% of eligible voters voted in that election. That's low even for an off-year primary. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And another thing I will say is Texas Republicans, conservatives are notorious for not showing up. So if you're in Texas, wherever you are, if you're a Republican, if you're a conservative, if you do not want to see a Democrat socialist take over, if you haven't been voting regularly, you need to get off your butt and go vote. Republicans who stay home elect Democrats. Or as BZ says, Democrats don't win elections, Republicans lose them. And it's not because Republicans' ideas are bad. It's because the people just do not, for some reason. But that's why Virginia's in the state it's in right now with regards to the Second Amendment. When they get mobilized and you see something galvanize a 2A community in Virginia, there are enough of them to sway these elections. But for some reason, it takes an emergency to get them to vote. Well, I got news for you. This is an emergency. This right now, what we're dealing with right now is a 5-alarm fire. And if we don't put it out, it is going to consume us. When Mamdani got elected, it was probably a 3-alarm fire. Now that we see what apathy gets us, it's definitely a 5-alarm fire at this point. Because it's not just those 3 that got elected in New York. There are a number of them all over the country that are favored to win. I kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but we are going to stick with Tallarico because there was something else, and this is what I really wanted to get to and talk about for over the course of a few shows now, but for some never really got a chance to. So we're going to do it here, and I want you to take a listen to this. That wasn't it. Here we go.
Yeah, and that's, I always think of myself as a Christian who hates Christianity, yep. Right? And like, I always get drawn back into it.
Let me play that again.
Yeah, and that's, I always think of myself as a Christian who hates Christianity, yep. Right?
A Christian who hates Christianity. Hey, Lori Smith. Hate to break it to you, but I am sitting down. So try again. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. And no caps, Lori, FYI. So thank you to the moderators, by the way, for holding it down in chat. I appreciate you guys, as always. I don't say it enough, but thank you very much for doing what you guys do. So yeah, James Tallarico, this, I think he's Presbyterian or something like that. I don't know any real, true Christians, anyone who says that they love the Lord and serve Jesus Christ and he is their Lord and Savior. I can't think of anyone who believes that would actually fix their lips to say, I'm a Christian who hates Christianity. That is utterly insane to me. And I can't, sometimes when leftists say things that are really stupid, I can kind of see the point that they are trying to make, even though it's a stupid point. Because conservatives, we understand the left. The left has absolutely no concept of conservatives or conservatism. None. I can't figure this one out. It makes absolutely no sense to me. This guy went to seminary, which according to preachers like my dad and other Christians I've known for a long time, is part of the problem. But he went to seminary and he uses his knowledge of scripture to try and support his left-wing ideology. And it doesn't work. It absolutely does not work. Because, and I've said this before, you cannot be a Christian and support the left in any way. The left is for abortion, the killing of an unborn child. A Christian just can't support that. Therefore, mutilating children and giving them puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones that have permanent debilitating effects on them, renders them infertile at an early age for life. Those effects are irreversible, even though they will try to sell you on the idea that it is reversible. It's not. And just a whole host of things that the left believes that, just as a Christian, is just, it goes against everything goes against the Bible in pretty much every way. And I don't know if he thinks of himself as some reformer or something like that, but he's not reforming anything. He is flat out rejecting biblical Christianity. Biblical Christianity, and I again, this is something that I say often, built Western civilization, built the university system, built hospitals, built common law. The Bible is one of the most quoted books in our founding documents. So for somebody who professes to be a Christian to outright reject the faith of Abraham, Moses, Isaac, Jacob, all the prophets, and the gospel that Jesus Christ fulfilled when he came to earth, he's twisting it into this unrecognizable vehicle for this modern, I don't even want to call it theology, because it's just, it's demonic is what it is. And all while claiming or trying to get us to believe that he loves Jesus. It just doesn't make any sense. A Christian who hates Christianity running for the United States Senate in Texas, of all places. I mean, that if that is not a warning to everyone, I don't know what to tell you. Because if you are a Christian, if you believe in the Bible and you are uncompromising in your faith, how can you possibly vote for a guy who claims to be a Christian and hates Christianity? Because I think, or put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he got to the Senate and encountered all of the Muslims that we've elected if he didn't convert. Sounds far-fetched, sounds harsh maybe, but he's not grounded in any Christian principles because he hates Christianity. So who's to say? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he go along and get along? If you're a Christian, first of all, if you're a Christian in Texas, I don't see how you can vote for James Tallarico. But if you're a Christian wherever you are in the country, you need to be praying that we defeat this, not just him, but this entire ideology. This entire ideology is dangerous, and we just can't let it happen. And after seeking the Lord in prayer, you need to get off your butt and go vote. You do those two things and we'll be good. We'll be good. I promise. All right, we got a little bit more than 15 minutes left. Yeah, let's get into this because this has been all over social media. This has been all over social media lately, and I want you to take a look at this clip because this is a clip from, well, imagine a movie, and we've seen a couple of movies like this where a regular guy just loses his mind. Something happens, something triggers him, and he just goes bananas and starts hurting and killing everyone that he thinks has done him wrong. Violent criminals that walk free. This movie that has just come out, Citizen Vigilante, is like, what's the movie? Falling Down. And there's another one. And Charles Bronson, Death Wish. This movie, from what I can tell, is like that on steroids, just from a couple of the clips that I've seen. So let's take a look at this. And this clip is about 2 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll probably skip around. But you'll get the idea. Take a look at this.
Hey, guys, your tickets. Fuck you. Guys.
And there is a bit of there is some language in it, so just to keep that in mind.
Guys, you did not pay your tickets. It's $150 per person.
Fuck up and drive.
It's $150 per person.
Didn't I tell you to sit down and drive the fucking bus?
$150 per person, please.
Gentlemen, everyone on this bus has somewhere they have to be, and for some of us it's urgent, so please resolve your issues and go drive the bus.
Which I understand. It's just the thing that I will not continue driving the bus without everyone having tickets on it.
Fine.
$150 times 3, $450. There you go. Let me just give you change.
Keep the change.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Who we are and what we do has ramifications in our lives and in the lives of everyone around us.
So he goes on in this clip to give a bit of an economics lesson that I don't think is quite accurate, but the message is effective. But I want to skip to this last part right here.
You're going to look back at this moment and realize that it is the luckiest you have ever been. Believe me.
That's one of the clips that has been circulating around, and the movie itself is available for free online. Elon Musk actually posted it in full on X. I think it's been taken down, but it is also up on Rumble. Full movie, no paywall. So if you see it on Amazon, you're going to have to pay a rent, but you can see it on Rumble for free, FYI. And I think we're going to watch it this weekend. But the left is all up in arms because this movie is very violent and it depicts the crisis. This movie takes place in Europe. It depicts the crisis of these alien invaders in Europe doing despicable things and getting away with it. And this guy that we just saw on the screen doesn't like it. And people are saying it's the story of an American thinking they know better. That's not it. From what I've seen, that's not what it's about. So I encourage you to take a look at it. But the left is all up in arms about this, saying how it's a terrible movie, and whether or not it's terrible in terms of the quality, I don't know. But they're saying that it's racist and it's Islamophobic and it's anti-immigrant and all the leftist things. But if you contrast the reaction to this movie with one battle after another, that just won Best Picture and a few other Oscars earlier this year, it is the mirror image of this movie. It's about leftist revolutionaries, leftist terrorists who do violence on their behalf. And it won Best Picture. They celebrate the violence on the left. And we know this because they don't think President Trump they don't think there's been any attempts made on President Trump's life. They think the incident in Butler was faked, or at least that's what they say. Whether or not they believe that, I don't know. But the violence and the anti-authority stuff in one battle after another from the left was perfectly fine enough to win Oscars. But this movie that depicts somebody seeking justice, albeit in a very violent and extrajudicial way, admittedly, is dangerous and racist. It's not about the art. It's not about the value of the cinematic offering. It's not about any of that. It's about the values that they want to portray, and whose values are reflected in awarding those golden statues. And this is something else that I've said often in the past. Every law reflects the morality of the people who can enforce it. And if you just retreat into if you retreat and don't engage, well then these are the values that are going to get rewarded. And this is another thing. And I'm not glorifying the violence that takes place in this movie. All I'm saying is that I said when I posted that clip, we're getting to the point where something like this could happen. And as long as the people in charge are allowing innocent people, allowing law-abiding citizens to be subjected to the type of chaos and danger that the Islamic immigrants, I'll just put it plainly, are inflicting on the UK and France and all the other European countries, as long as they allow that to happen, eventually somebody is going to get fed up enough to go citizen vigilante. Now, as Christians, we need to pray that that doesn't happen. Pray that we elect people who will curb the situations that are giving rise to this type of chaos, and elect people who will defend Western civilization more so than is being done right now. This vigilante fiction is not new. I mean, think about it. Batman, one of the most popular characters in all of American fiction, is a vigilante. Most of the comic book heroes that people go to the movies to see and read comic books, they're vigilantes trying to seek justice. But because this story hits so close to home with the villains that are being hunted, now all of a sudden it's a problem. It just goes to show the hypocrisy that these people engage in. But what do you think? Let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you think. But we are just about out of time. I there are a couple of clips I wanted to react to, but we're not going to have time to do it. So let's just get this one in. This one, I came across this one last night, and we usually end these weekend debriefs with Steve Inman commentary, and it's usually guys squaring up, somebody getting beat down, but this one's a little different. So let's go ahead and check this one out.
If you plan on filming your next shit talk video getting in a fight, well, make sure you know how to fight, especially when you're getting judo tossed into the parking lot and now taking a grounding and pounding to hamburger helper oblivion. My God, this just doesn't stop. It is a buffet of ground and pound punches, and she's just like, let go of my hair, let go of my, what the hell do you think this is? A freaking match where you can just give up? You're the one who started it. You're the one who came and filmed this because you thought it would get you more likes and more views on Instagram. As this goes viral for all the wrong reasons, a ref steps in and does absolutely nothing. Whip my ass! Darlene says whip my ass as she continues to whip her opponent's ass. My God, come to somebody's place of residence. Well, guess what? There's going to be huge statements being delivered here tonight, making sure she never comes back again. And my God, she's going to have to come back with a freaking F-15 if she wants to continue this fight. And I think it is all over. Darlene has sent a clear message. You want to F around, you're bound to drizzound.
I know some people might think that went on a bit too long. Maybe it was a little rough. But you know what? If you go to somebody's house, if you step to somebody, then you're going to find out. You're going to find out. And yeah, the dudes probably wouldn't have gone on that long, but hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I don't think she will make that mistake again. I really, really. Fantine says, looks like a normal day at White Castle. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, that is going to do it for us on the Weekend Debrief. I am Big E. You have been watching or listening to the Weekend Debrief right here on the SHR Media Network, where you can catch my good friend Sackhead Sean with the Edge of Liberty every Monday and Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Like I said, he's been off, but he will be back. Jersey Joe, same thing. He's been off a little bit, but he will be back every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. BZ in the Berserk Bobcat Saloon every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. But I believe that the saloon will be open tomorrow night as well. So be sure to check that out. And then we have Lyle Armstrong with Beer and Bolstein, who's been a little under the weather. But he will be back on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Please like and subscribe and share all of these great shows, and continue to pray for us that we push through. The algorithm is trying to keep us down. It's midterm season, and a lot of conservative outlets that I've seen and that I speak to, everybody is getting suppressed. So please, when you see us, please, like I said, like, subscribe, share, comment. All of that helps us out tremendously. But that is going to do it. We're not just here to yammer on and fill the ether. We are here to equip Christian men, spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, and carry the banner of faith, freedom, and hope into the next generation. And if anything that we said here tonight resonated with you, please take a second to share it with another man, bring him into this fight. We need all the men that we can get to stand up to this nonsense. And if you want to wear what you stand for, head over to missionreadymen.com, click Shop 7 Armors, and check out all the great designs we have over there about bold faith, true grit, and unapologetic patriotism. And while you're there, head over, click on the SHR shop and check out the designs for all the t-shirt designs for all the guys' shows, and the mug and the hoodie and the logo tee and all the rest of it. So be sure to check all that out as well. And remember, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away, but the Lord is right there with you. So keep your prayers going up and your head on a swivel. God bless.